Hi, my name is Atik, and I'm going to show you how you can push your Docker images into AWS ECR. So let's get started. So I'm in my AWS console, and I'm into my ECR dashboard. So if you don't know how to go to ECR, go to the search box. After login, go to the search box and type ECR. Then you should see Elastic Container Registry. You will come to the place exactly where I am. So I don't have any repositories now, so I'm going to create a new repository. So the name is JS sample project. And then I'm going to use the tag immutable, encryption AES 256, and all other things. I think we can keep as it is. If you wanted to scan your image on the push, you can turn it on, but that needs some additional costing. So I don't recommend this for only testing purposes. If you have any production environment or production build needed, you can choose this. Okay, let's create the repository. That means I created the repository where I can push my Docker images. So it's a kind of a like bucket. Think of it like a bucket where I can push my Docker images for a particular project. If I have multiple projects, then I will create multiple repositories. Okay, good. So let's create a Node.js project here. So I'm going to use a framework called Nest.js. If you don't know Nest.js, that's fine. You can just go to Google, search for Nest.js. It's an open source Node.js project. If you don't know what this is, you can just read it. For this example, you don't need to be that much experienced with Nest.js, but just a simple knowledge will be fine. So let's go to the documentation, and then we wanted to get the installation command. This is the installation command, right? So I just copy this first. Okay, it is installing the Nest.js CLI in your local machine. I already have it, so probably it will be very faster. But for you, if it's the first time, then it might take some time. Once the installation is done, you need to run this command nest new and then the project name, right? So I just copy nest new, and then the project name will be. I'm just going to give some sample project name like Docker example Nest.js. I'm going to use npm for the package manager. And then it's installing the files, not modules, all those things. Yeah, should take not more than 2 or 3 minutes, right? So let's wait till that. Meanwhile, I go to AWS IAM, which is Identity and Access Management Center. So this is the IAM, and then inside that IAM, I'm going to create a access key. So I'm going to create an access key. And then click the access key. Okay, this is the access key and secret key. I need to configure that locally. And then this access key I will be using to push the Docker image from my local machine to ECR, right? So if you are trying to push images from your local, you need these access keys. And then you need to set up the AWS CLI locally, right? So AWS CLI, it's a AWS CLI install Windows. I mean, if you just search it, then you get the MSI file. You need to install it for your Windows or Mac or Linux, whatever you are using. You need to have this AWS CLI installed. Otherwise, you will not be able to push images. Remember, this is very important that even if you are running Docker, but it doesn't mean that you can push ECR. For ECR, you need AWS CLI installed in your local machine. Okay, our Nest.js project setup is done. So let's open that in VS Code. Okay, let's see if the project is running. Here, start. So it should start the project in localhost 3000. Let's check localhost 3000. Yeah, hello world, right? So we are able to run the project locally. Now I'm going to stop it. What we need is to create the Docker image, we need a Docker file. So click here and put a Docker file. So the structure of a Docker file is you need to use a base image as a start. So here we're going to use Node.js 21 Alpine version. Alpine is the smallest version. If you wanted to use only Node.js 21, that is also fine, but that is quite big. That's not really needed for this project. So Alpine is the smallest version. We can use it to make the Docker images smaller. So let's do that right from Node 21 and then Alpine, right? So this is the is the image, and set the working directory. So let's work there, and it should be app. That's my usual experience. I'm going to use app. And then install the dependencies. So first I need to copy the package.json. So that is the main file. Then we need to run npm install. And then we need to copy all the files, right? So we need to copy all the existing application files into there. So the question you might raise that why didn't we copy everything like initially here, right? What's the catch? The catch is that as like Docker, when you build the Docker images, the cache steps, and if you don't have any changes, then like let's say these step like from Node 21 Alpine. Once it's executed once, the next time it will not pull the Docker image again, but it will pull it from the locally. Next is also fine. But here, if we copy everything, like what will happen is that you see that you might have some changes here in the source directory. You might adding some more controllers, more modules, etc. So this line will be always changed. Most of the cases changed. But now if we only copy package.json and then there is no change in the package.json, it's very rare that you change a package.json every time. It's very rare. But unless there is no change in the package.json, then the run install that will be also cached. So the benefit of copying independently is that you can cache the whole thing. So if I build it once and the next time I build, then the only part will be the starting from here, right? So I can save the build time quite a lot. Okay, anyway, this is deep. It's not really mandatory for you to follow this. You can just copy here as well. That's fine. It should work. Okay, now let's expose. Our project is running on port 3000. So we want to expose port 3000. And then we need to run npm start. That's it. Let's try to build it, right? So docker build -t, and then I give a name. So the name should be like docker sample mesh.js and project directory, right? So this is the first time I'm building. So as you will see that couple of things are not cached. Not cached, that means it will pull the image, it will copy the work deal, it will copy these files, all those things will happen first time. That's good. But the next time I build, let's say I made some changes in the controller file. And then next time you will see that it's not really executing these lines. These are all taken from the copy. So cache. So only thing that will be changing is executing is here, and then my build time will be very smaller. So as you can see, my build time is now almost 1 or 2 minutes, but next time it will be few seconds. So that's the benefit if you use the copy later on, rather than copying whole things, but copy the only package.json. Okay. Most of the time it will be ready. Meanwhile, let's configure our AWS CLI. So let's go to IAM. I created the access key secret key. Now let's configure. So AWS configure. I paste it. Similarly, I paste the secret key as well. And the region is, on AP Southeast 1. So copy the region. and format is JSON, right? So that's good. So now let's just verify AWS. I'm just checking if I have configured properly, and it seems I have configured properly. So that's good. Let's clear the screen. So I configured my AWS CLI properly, right? And then I'm going to now, okay, my build is done. I'm going to now push it. But before push, let's try to run it. What is the image name that we created? Docker sample nest.js, right? So let's run it. Docker run, sorry. Docker run IT port is 3000, right? And then the image name is Docker sample nest.js. So it's running. Let's see. Let's go to localhost 3000 and hello world. Looks good, right? So our image is good. Let's close it and clear the screen. Now we wanted to push it to ECR. So here in the ECR, if we see here, view push commands, click here, you will get all the commands here, how to push it. So copy this line first and then run it. Remember, we need to set up the AWS CLI with our access key and secret key. If you haven't set up properly, then you will get an error here at this step. And if you are getting error here, that means that your either your access key is secret key is not set up properly, or maybe you don't have the permissions. So check your permissions in the IAM like in the permissions tab. So check the permissions, whether you have the proper permissions or not. If you don't have, add those permissions necessary. Okay, so maybe also I can show you which permissions you needed. This is an administrative account, but I don't suggest you to use it. Let's add a new permission here. So the permission that is container. So the permission is the EC2 container registry power user. This is the proper permission. If you use it, that should be fine. Always use this permission. So if you have this permission, then you can actually push images to the Docker registry. Okay. Now I have run the command 1. Let's go to run the command 2. Okay, as you can see, it ran only few seconds, but initially it ran 1 or 2 minutes. So that's the beauty of having cache. So even though I change couple of files, like here, if I change it hello world or something, yeah, hello world to hello Atik. Even if I build it, it should not take not more than 5 to 10 seconds, I guess. Yeah, okay. 8 seconds are the building time, right? So as you can see, even if I changed files, but that's only affecting the bottom section here, last 3 lines. The upper 4 lines are all running it from cache. Okay. So that's the tip that help you to build, reduce build time. Then run this command. It's actually tagging the image. And then this is the pushing part. Click here and paste it. So it might take some time based on your Docker image size and audio and also your internet connection. So have patience. And then once this is done, you will be able to view it into this interface. It's almost there. Okay, the image pushing is done. So let's refresh this screen. Here is the image, right? So this is the image that I pushed. This is the image URI. You can copy this and you can use this inside any other places in AWS, like EC2 instances, you can use these in ECS, you can use this in EKS, you can use this like everywhere. You can use this inside AWS. So that's it for today. What we did, we created a Nest.js project, and then we we created a Docker file. We built the image. We set up the AWS CLI with access key and secret key, and then I push the image to ECR. I hope this helps you to get started with AWS and ECR. If you have any questions, then put into the comment box. And like as always, subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye bye. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.